In the music world, Black R&B legends have long shone as luminous architects of emotion and sound. Their velvet vocals, timeless melodies, and soul-stirring performances didn't just top charts, they carved pathways for entire generations and etched their names into cultural memory. Each note carried history, resilience, and creative fire, transforming stages into sanctuaries and songs into lifelong companions for millions around the globe. Yet beyond the spotlight's glow and the thunder of applause lies a quieter narrative rarely explored. Behind the platinum records and dazzling premieres were deeply human journeys, stories marked by inner conflicts, difficult crossroads, and the weight of immense expectation. Some faced turbulent chapters shaped by personal struggles, public scrutiny, and moments of controversy that tested their strength and legacy. It is within this contrast, brilliance intertwined with vulnerability, that we discover a more complete portrait, not just icons, but individuals navigating the complex rhythm of fame, consequence, and redemption. These 18 legendary R&B artists once stood at the summit, admired, celebrated, and encircled by the dazzling aura of success. Their voices echoed across airwaves, their influence shaping culture in ways that still ripple through time. For a moment, it seemed as though the spotlight would never dim. But history often reminds us that rapid ascent can carry invisible pressure, and even the brightest constellations must navigate gravity. Behind the acclaim were human stories marked by fragile crossroads, chapters of personal turbulence, difficult decisions, and moments that tested their inner foundations. Challenges related to dependency, emotional strain, and public controversy did more than interrupt their careers. They reshaped the direction of their lives in profound and lasting ways. If their journeys resonate with you, share a 1 below. If you see a different perspective, comment 0. And be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because these stories reach far beyond melodies and fame. They are reflections of an era, testaments to resilience, and echoes of voices that never truly disappeared, only waiting for history to listen again. In May 2019, he was sentenced to 10 years in federal prison, a stunning reversal from digital celebrity to criminal conviction. The ruling marked a decisive turning point, transforming what had once been an image of influence and online success into a cautionary tale about accountability in the public eye. In the aftermath, reports and online speculation suggested that certain figures within entertainment circles may have attempted to soften or obscure aspects of the story, fueling further controversy. While such claims circulated widely, the legal outcome itself remained clear and publicly documented. Shortly thereafter, his YouTube channel was permanently removed, effectively wiping out the platform that had propelled him to fame and severing his direct connection with millions of followers. The case quickly became one of the most talked-about scandals involving a social media personality, sparking debates about responsibility, platform power, and the rapid rise and fall nature of internet fame. It underscored a broader reality. In the digital age, visibility can accelerate success, but it can also magnify consequences when serious misconduct comes to light. What ultimately placed YNW Melly at the center of one of hip-hop's most controversial legal cases was the 2018 shooting deaths of two close associates, YNW Juvie, Christopher Thomas Jr., and YNW sack chaser, Anthony Williams. The two rising artists were killed in October 2018 in Florida under circumstances that initially appeared to be a drive-by shooting. Investigators later alleged that the incident had been staged and that Melly was involved in orchestrating the events. On the 13th of February 2019, he turned himself in to authorities and has remained in custody as the case has moved through an extended and complex legal process. The proceedings have included years of hearings, delays, and intense media scrutiny, keeping the case in the public spotlight. In late 2022, additional controversy emerged when jail officials alleged he was connected to a potential escape plan, claims that reportedly even led to scrutiny involving individuals within his legal circle. Those allegations added another layer of tension to an already high-profile trial. As the legal battle continues, the case stands as a stark reminder of how quickly rising fame can become overshadowed by serious criminal accusations. The final outcome remains in the hands of the judicial system, with the broader hip-hop community closely watching how the proceedings unfold. YNW Melly rose to prominence with emotionally driven tracks like Mixed Personalities featuring Kanye West and Suicidal alongside Juice WRLD. His melodic delivery and confessional tone resonated strongly with younger audiences, quickly propelling him into the national spotlight. However, even as his streaming numbers climbed, legal challenges began to mount. In 2015, he served time related to multiple assault charges, and in 2017 he was incarcerated again for violating probation. Between 2018 and 2019, the situation intensified, with additional arrests and charges, including alleged illegal possession offenses. The contrast between artistic ascent and escalating legal trouble created a turbulent narrative. While his music reflected vulnerability and emotional complexity, his real-life circumstances grew increasingly complicated, setting the stage for the far more serious legal battles that would soon follow. As of May 2025, YNW Melly remains in custody while awaiting further proceedings in his retrial, after a jury deadlocked in 2023 without reaching a unanimous verdict. The prolonged legal battle has kept his case in the national spotlight, turning what was once a story of rapid musical ascent into one of the most closely watched criminal trials involving a young rap artist. His trajectory from chart-climbing singles and viral success to extended incarceration has become a stark illustration of how swiftly circumstances can shift. Fame, influence, and industry momentum have offered no insulation from the weight of serious charges. With allegations including double murder and related legal disputes, the outcome now rests entirely within the judicial process. For fans and observers, the case underscores a sobering truth. Talent and popularity do not override accountability. Once regarded as one of hip-hop's most promising new voices, Melly's future remains uncertain, shaped less by studio sessions and more by courtroom decisions. Whatever the final verdict, the proceedings have already left an indelible mark on both his career and the broader conversation about responsibility in the spotlight. MC Hammer exploded onto the global stage in the early 1990s with unstoppable hits like You Can't Touch This and Too Legit to Quit. His high-energy performances, signature dance moves, and bold style turned him into a cultural phenomenon almost overnight. At the height of his success, his fortune reportedly surpassed $30 million, an extraordinary figure for the era. In 1991 alone, Hammer is estimated to have earned around $33 million, which would equate to roughly $50 million today when adjusted for inflation. Few artists had ever seen such rapid financial ascent. Concert tours, merchandise, endorsements, and record sales fueled a lifestyle that reflected his larger-than-life public image. However, that same meteoric rise carried hidden risks. Lavish spending, expansive payrolls, and ambitious investments gradually outpaced sustainable income. What began as celebration of success eventually became a cautionary example frequently cited in conversations about financial literacy in the entertainment industry. Hammer's story remains a powerful reminder that fame can multiply opportunity, but without disciplined management, even extraordinary earnings can fade as quickly as they arrive. At the height of his fame, MC Hammer embraced a lifestyle as bold as his stage presence. Rather than focusing on long-term investments, much of his fortune went toward high-end cars, a private jet, and an extensive stable of racehorses, each carrying significant upkeep costs. Among his most ambitious ventures was a sprawling estate in California, reportedly renovated at a cost of around $30 million. Beyond property and possessions, Hammer supported a large entourage at times, said to include nearly 200 people with monthly expenses that reached into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. As album sales began to decline in the mid-1990s, the gap between income and spending widened dramatically. By 1996, he filed for bankruptcy, listing debts exceeding $13 million. Assets, including real estate and luxury vehicles, were sold to satisfy creditors. The fall from chart-topping dominance to financial restructuring was swift and sobering. Yet over time, Hammer worked to rebuild stability through entrepreneurship, ministry work, and continued engagement in media and technology circles. His journey remains one of the most cited examples in music history, illustrating how rapid success, without careful financial planning, can quickly unravel. Elvis Presley, forever known as the King of Rock and Roll, stunned the world when he was found unresponsive at his Graceland home in Memphis on the 16th of August, 1977. He was just 42 years old. Once celebrated for his electrifying stage presence and groundbreaking performances, the later years of his life reflected visible health struggles and mounting physical decline. Medical reports following his death indicated the presence of multiple prescription medications in his system, including powerful painkillers and sedatives such as codeine and other controlled substances. Over time, concerns grew regarding the volume and combination of medications he had been prescribed. His longtime physician, George C. Nichopoulos, widely known as Dr. Nick, had treated him for years, initially for chronic pain and related conditions. Elvis's passing became one of the most widely discussed moments in music history. Beyond the cultural shock, it sparked ongoing conversations about prescription drug oversight, celebrity health management, and the immense pressures placed on global icons. His legacy endures through timeless music and influence, yet his final chapter remains a sobering reminder of how fame, health challenges, and medical dependency can converge with tragic consequences. In the years leading up to his death, the medical treatment surrounding Elvis Presley became the subject of intense scrutiny. What had reportedly begun as prescribed care for chronic pain gradually evolved into heavy reliance on multiple medications. Later investigations revealed that his longtime physician, George C. Nichopoulos, often called Dr. Nick, had prescribed large quantities of controlled substances over an extended period. During legal proceedings in the years after Elvis's death, Nichopoulos acknowledged the extraordinary volume of prescriptions and claimed he sometimes attempted to limit or manage the situation, though critics argued stronger safeguards were needed. The irony of Elvis's final chapter was not lost on the public. In 1970, he had met with Richard Nixon at the White House and was granted a federal narcotics badge, expressing concern about drug culture in America. Yet only 7 years later, toxicology findings showed that a dangerous mix of prescription medications contributed to his fatal cardiac event. His story became one of the earliest high-profile examples of the risks associated with prescription drug dependency, particularly when fame, access, and inadequate oversight intersect. Beyond the myth and music, Elvis's passing stands as a lasting reminder that addiction does not discriminate, and that even global icons are vulnerable to its devastating consequences. Nino Tempo, born Antonino Lompio, passed away peacefully at his home in West Hollywood, California, at the age of 90. His family confirmed the news, which was first reported by Billboard. Although the specific cause of death was not publicly disclosed, the announcement prompted an outpouring of remembrance for a performer whose career spanned more than 7 decades. Tempo first rose to prominence in the 1960s, most notably through his Grammy-winning duet Deep Purple with his sister April Stevens. Beyond music, he built a versatile career that extended into film and television, demonstrating a rare adaptability across entertainment mediums. His passing marks the end of an era defined by classic pop harmonies and cross-generational artistry. For many, Nino Tempo remains a symbol of longevity in show business, a reminder that talent, when paired with reinvention, can resonate far beyond a single moment in time. Nino Tempo began building his recording career in the 1950s, working alongside elite studio players collectively known as the Wrecking Crew. His early collaborations included performances with jazz trumpeter Maynard Ferguson and later associations with British vocalist Elkie Brooks, reflecting his stylistic versatility across genres. He is most widely remembered for the 1963 smash hit Deep Purple, recorded as a duet with his sister April Stevens. Released on Atco Records, the track soared to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, sold over 1 million copies, and earned the pair a Grammy Award for Best Rock and Roll Recording. The success marked a defining milestone in his career and cemented the siblings' place in pop history. Tempo and Stevens continued collaborating in the years that followed. By the 1970s, he expanded creatively into funk and disco, forming projects such as Nanampo and Fifth the Sax. Their track Sister James became notable within dance circles and is still celebrated by Northern soul enthusiasts today. Through constant reinvention, Tempo demonstrated a rare ability to evolve with changing musical landscapes while preserving his distinct artistic identity. Nino Tempo's influence extended well beyond the recording studio. In the 1980s, he contributed vocal work to several animated television specials featuring Garfield, showcasing yet another dimension of his creative range. His ability to move fluidly between pop, jazz, and television projects reflected a performer unconfined by genre or format. Tempo also brought his musicianship to collaborations with major artists. He played saxophone on John Lennon's 1975 album Rock and Roll, and delivered a memorable solo on a 1976 release by Kenny Rankin. These contributions underscored his technical skill and adaptability during an era of rapid musical evolution. Across decades of shifting trends, Tempo remained creatively active and professionally respected. Those who worked alongside him often spoke of his sharp humor, deep musical instincts, and generous spirit. Today, he is remembered not only for chart-topping success, but for a lifetime devoted to performance, a career defined by reinvention, collaboration, and an enduring love for the craft. Born in Niagara Falls, New York, in 1935, Nino Tempo displayed extraordinary musical ability from an early age. A true prodigy, he began playing clarinet and tenor saxophone as a child, astonishing audiences with skills far beyond his years. At just 7 years old, he appeared on television performing with legendary bandleader Benny Goodman, an achievement that signaled the arrival of a remarkable young talent. After his family relocated to California, Tempo's early career expanded into radio and film. He appeared in productions such as The Red Pony and The Glenn Miller Story, gaining valuable experience in front of the camera while continuing to refine his musicianship. These formative years laid the groundwork for a lifetime in entertainment. From childhood performances to Hollywood sets, Tempo's early exposure to multiple creative platforms shaped the versatility that would define his decades-long career. April Stevens once reflected on the philosophy she shared with her brother, Nino Tempo. "We don't chase trends, we just love what we do." That love can be felt in every note and remains his truest legacy. Those words capture the essence of a career guided not by charts or fashion, but by genuine devotion to sound and storytelling. For Tempo, music was never merely a catalog of successful recordings. Whether performing Deep Purple on grand stages or contributing subtle studio work behind the scenes, he infused each note with sincerity. His saxophone lines carried warmth. His vocals conveyed intimacy. Audiences didn't just hear the music, they felt it. His legacy rests not only in awards or chart positions, but in the authenticity he maintained across decades of change. In an industry often driven by reinvention, Tempo remained anchored in passion. That steadfast dedication, the refusal to chase trends, the commitment to craft, ensures that his influence will resonate long after the final applause fades.